right. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad that you are here and you're joining us today. My name is Emily Myhouse, and I work for Sharp Best Health, which is the employee wellness program.
Hi, I'm Bob McClure, and I'm a trained mindfulness facilitator at UCLA's Mindful Awareness Research Center. I'm also a Sharp human resource consultant.
So we know that we're in the midst of a very challenging time, which is why we wanted to take a few minutes today to talk about resilience and some of the things that you can start doing now to become more resilient. Resilience is a word that's talked about often, but just to define it before we get started, resilience is defined as the ability to bounce back after adversity or after a challenge.
So there are things that you can do to train the mind and the heart to get through difficult times with purpose and strength.
Definitely. So with that said, let's dive in. So let's pretend you're going out on a hike. In this case, a very social distance hike. We made sure our hikers are 6 feet apart. So you're about to set up on your hike, and you're looking through your trail guide, and you notice there are sections of the hike where there are steep inclines, there's some difficult switchbacks, and there's slippery rocks. So how would you prepare if you were going on this hike? How would you prepare beforehand before you set a foot? Maybe you would make sure that you had all the correct gear, right? Maybe you would pack a couple extra water bottles in anticipation of these difficult sections. Maybe you would spend a few weeks training beforehand so that you're not just taken off without being prepared. So for the majority of the world right now, we are in sort of a difficult section of the hike, and everybody is going to react a little bit differently. There are so many different emotions that come with this time, and it can feel overwhelming, and that is completely normal. The good news is that it will eventually end. You will get through these difficult sections, and you'll become stronger and more resilient because of it. We need these difficult sections of the hike to grow and to become more experienced hikers or people. And again, if we're looking back at what resilience means, resilience is the ability to withstand and recover from these difficulties. So not only are you getting through these difficult times, but you're actually growing and learning through it. So today we're going to be talking about understanding our emotions during this challenging time and learning some practical tools that you can start using right now to help you get through this season. So, like I said, there are a lot of different emotions that you might be feeling right now. Maybe it's stress, fear, loss of safety, loss of control, confusion, dread, frustration, anger. Maybe there's really good emotions too. Common humanity, everybody's suffering together. Appreciation for being able to slow down, gratitude. So there are different emotions that come through it. And what you'll see here is sort of a picture of what these different emotions can look like. I think a lot of us are familiar with the classic kind of grief process, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. But let's use this model to help translate into how we might be feeling right now. So if we start with denial may look like, this virus won't affect us. It's not even here in the United States yet. I have nothing to be concerned about. Anger. So this may look like you're making me stay home and taking away my activities. I know I've been there a lot. Bargaining. Okay, so if I social distance for a couple weeks, everything will be fine. And then depression. It can come and manifest itself as, I don't really know when this is going to end. And then acceptance might look like, I'm trying to figure out what this is going to look like. I am going to choose to do the things that I can do, that I can control, stay home, wash my hands, and I'm just going to have to figure it out. You're accepting the situation. And so if you found yourself in maybe all of these emotions in one day, that is totally normal. It is completely normal to feel sort of this roller coaster of emotions. And the key to being resilient is being aware of these emotions understanding what they are, and then allowing them to move through you. So what are some of the things that we can do now to help us become more resilient? Of course, understanding and labeling our emotions is important, but there are things that we can do to equip ourselves, right? These are the tools that you can use before you set out on your hike to help prepare you for these difficult sections. So right now, staying socially connected is super important. We are all alone together, making sure that you are connecting with friends, family, using this time to make sure that you're not isolated, because that can definitely have some negative side effects. Limit media exposure. So being careful about what's coming in to your mind. There's a lot of information right now, and it can just feed anxiety and stress. And that's something you don't want to be doing as well. So just kind of limiting how much you're exposing yourself to media. If you are working from home, the importance of establishing a routine, making sure that you're getting up in the morning, taking a shower, getting dressed, scheduling breaks throughout the day, setting up a good workstation, and then resuming your life as normal after work. Because otherwise things can get really blurry and it can be hard to have a routine. Get enough sleep. This, I think, is especially hard. There's a lot of statistics right now coming out about people not being able to sleep as well, and there's so many different reasons for that. Stress, anxiety, again, your routine is thrown off. So if you can, make sure you're going to bed and waking up at the same time. This will automatically allow your body to kind of stay into that routine, and sleep is so important for your mental health. Eat well and exercise. This can be particularly hard. I was telling my friend the other day that I think my gene buttons are starting to social distance themselves. I know they're starting to say, instead of the COVID-19, the COVID-25. So it's all affecting us, but we all have the refrigerator in our pantry at our fingertips, or we just may want to eat more often. Make sure that we're choosing healthy foods, getting exercise, again, because you want to nourish your body and your mind in this time. Be kind to yourself. So if you've noticed yourself saying, man, I wish I could do better, or I'm failing, or I'm making mistakes, I'm slacking, know that it's super important always, but especially now, to show yourself the same compassion that you would show others. This allows you to process what's happening right now and not be your own self-critic, because that can lead to not great things. And you really want to prioritize being kind to yourself. If you enjoy journaling, or if you've never tried it, now's a great time to get your thoughts out on your journal. I would maybe suggest not doing this at night right before bed, but is a great way to get your thoughts and emotions out on paper. And then for gratitude, exercise, and mindfulness, I'm actually going to turn this over to Bob, who is going to talk about how mindfulness and gratitude exercises can be sort of these building blocks for resilience.
So Emily, thanks. So let's look at how mindfulness can support the building of the resilience tools that Emily just talked about. In some ways, mindfulness is the foundation. The key idea is that we can choose what to pay attention to, and that's what we experience. So if we get lost in the negative, and we then feel negativity, if we choose to pay attention to the positive, we will feel more positivity. So we can make a choice with skills. So mindfulness gives us these skills to choose a balance, to be in the present moment. However, with the challenges in this time of the pandemic, it is easy to lose mental and emotional balance and be carried away by negative thoughts, difficult emotions, anxiety, and worry. So mindfulness can be defined as 3 skills working together, and that's what we're going to talk about. Concentration, sensory clarity, and equanimity. So these 3 skills, let's define what they are. Concentration is simply the ability to choose what to pay attention to that you consider important. Sensory clarity is the ability to track your experience in real time. You know when you're seeing, you know when you're hearing, you know when you're feeling. You're not lost in thought. And then equanimity is really the secret sauce of mindfulness. You can be present for both pleasant and unpleasant experiences with openness and curiosity. You don't have to fight with your experience, which only causes us to suffer more when we do. So you can make it your friend. Mark Twain once said, "I had a lot of troubles in my life, most of which never happened." In his life, he did have a lot of troubles: family deaths, bankruptcies from poor decisions, and illness. But he reminds us that we add to our suffering by imagining a lot of troubles that may never happen. The brain has a negativity bias. It's a beneficial alarm system that warns us about anything that might harm us. So we can easily get lost in worry and anxiety as our minds time travel to past regrets and worries about the future. And that's especially true right now during this time. But the body is always in the present moment. Where else could it be? And we can actually learn to choose using body sensations as anchors for our attention. We can choose to direct our attention to what we see, hear, and feel in this present moment. And this is mindfulness. So these mindfulness practices are like biceps curls for the brain. If you're going to learn to swim or play the piano, you have to practice. So too, you have to practice mindfulness skills to be more mindfully resilient. So let's now look at some practices and try them for actually bringing your attention to the present moment and calming the body. And the first practice is just 3 deep breaths. And we know when we're anxious, when we actually change our breathing, we can actually calm our mind and body. So let's try it right now. Taking just 3 deep breaths and making the out breath a little longer than the in breath. And on the out breath, just imagine letting go. And now take 1 more deep breath and slowly exhale. The science tells us that when we breathe in this way, we're actually engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms us down. And now the second practice is called see, hear, feel. And you notice our monkey friends there they don't want to look at reality. They're kind of denying what they don't want to see, hear, or in this case, speak. But what we know is when we turn our attention to even our unpleasant experience in a special way called mindfulness, we can actually be more resilient. So let me lead you in a see, hear, feel practice that you can do at any time. So assuming a mindfulness posture, which is just straightening the spine and relaxing the jaw and relaxing the shoulders. And you can do this practice with your eyes open or closed. And now bring your attention to something you see. If the eyes are open, maybe an object in the room. Or if the eyes are closed, just notice that dark screen that we see, maybe modeled with a little bit of light. And just rest your attention on what you see. And naturally, the attention is going to wander. Just bring it back to that object of focus of what you see. And when we're aware of what we're seeing, we're in the present moment. It actually shuts down that network where we worry and have anxiety. Just rest in what you see. Okay, good. We can let go of see, and now let's go to hear. So with eyes open or closed, I would invite you to just bring your attention to the sounds around you, whatever you can hear, including the sound of my voice. And notice how many different sounds you can hear. Some come and go. Some are loud, soft. And again, when the mind wanders, just bring it back to the sound. Allow the sound to come to you. Okay, good. We can let go of hear and now feel. I'd invite you to bring your attention into your body. Just allow your attention to notice whatever you're feeling in your body. Could be the feeling of your feet on the floor or in the shoe. Might be some warmth or pressure. Feeling in your hand. Some people like to use the breath as their object of focus. You might notice the out breath or the in breath. And again, when we're feeling, we're in the present moment. And now you might choose one object, something you see, hear, or feel, and use that as your object of focus. And we'll spend just a couple minutes resting attention on that object of focus. And when the attention wanders, just kindly bring it back. Okay, good. You can open the eyes if they're closed. You can move maybe the body a little bit as we bring our attention back into the room. Let's look at a practice called the feel rest practice. And this is a great practice. It's similar to what we just did, but this is a great practice for calming. So again, with the eyes open or closed, bring your attention into your body again. And find a sensation that's just calm or neutral, that's restful. Again, it could be the feeling in the hand, feeling in your foot, even the feeling of clothing touching the skin, and just rest your attention there. We can also use the label, the soft mental label that you can silently say to yourself of rest. And it may sound like this: rest, rest, rest. And when the attention wanders, just bring it back. Okay, good. Good job. You can open the eyes if they're closed, move the body a little bit, bring the attention back into the room. Some people find that their minds and bodies feel pretty goofy before they do these practices. So You can see here the Goofy is resting, and we hope that feel rest has brought a little bit of calm to the mind and body. Now let's look at a practice you can do really briefly all through the day. It's called the stop practice, and it's actually built on these other practices that we just did. You can do it for 30 seconds. We'll do it right now. The S is for stop. Just pause for a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths, making the out breath a little longer. Now the O is observe. Just observe one of those calm, restful sensations in the body. Just notice that sensation in the body, and then proceed. So that you can, anytime during your day, when you're walking to your cubicle, when you're going into the kitchen to make a snack, anything you're doing, you can stop, take a few deep breaths, bring your attention to that sensation in the body, and then proceed. And the last practice we're going to do is a gratitude practice. And gratitude is a way of shifting our experience, again, balancing the negativity bias of the brain with positivity. And we know that with gratitude practice, we notice what we're missing all the time that's goodness around us. It's really easy to do in difficult times. So right now, very simply, if you can, either with the eyes open or closed, imagine someone or something that you're really grateful for. It could be a person, a pet, even an object, anything in your life that you value that would be different if it was not there. And picture it. And now you can add a phrase, your own phrase. It might be something like, I am grateful. I appreciate you being in my life. Whatever phrase that works for you. We'll do this for about a minute. And before we end the meditation, you might just bring your attention into your body and notice if the feeling of gratitude is showing up. If not, it's okay. But the more we feel gratitude, the easier it is to cultivate it. Okay, good. You can open the eyes if they're closed. Bring your attention back into the room. So now you might try these practices at home or at work. They can be done sitting for like 5 or 10 minutes. That's what I would suggest, because again, it's like a bicep curl for the brain, or you can do them for just brief moments throughout your day.
Thanks, Bob. So now we've kind of gone through some practical tools that hopefully that you can start using now to help strengthen your resilience in your mind, your emotional and mental well-being during this time. So I know we went through a lot of information, so let's just kind of finish up our time by quickly touching on some of the main points. So the first one was to recognize and label your thoughts and emotions, because when you do so, it allows your emotions to move through you. It allows you to not deny them or ignore them, but it also allows you not to be consumed by them. So once you've recognized what you're feeling or what you're thinking, it's important to then ask yourself, what do I want to do with this emotion? Do I want to let it go? Do I want to do something about it? Because if we try to suppress our thoughts and our emotions, it just continues to feed into anxiety and stress, and it does not help us become more resilient. The second point was to decide how you can support your emotional, mental, and physical health during this challenging time. Like we went back to the hiking analogy earlier in the presentation, what are some tools that you can start doing today to help equip you? Obviously, we're in the middle of the difficult hike, the difficult section, but that doesn't preclude you from starting these practices now. So think through, and it doesn't have to be something that was on that list, but think through, what can you start doing today to help you on this journey? Maybe it's going to bed a little bit earlier, or maybe it's making yourself a really healthy dinner. Maybe it's going on a walk after work. So think about, what are the things that you're going to start incorporating into your life and into your day to help support your emotional, mental, physical health.
So what we choose to pay attention to is what we experience. This is a foundational psychological principle. And so mindfulness is about being able to train the mind to be present with emotional and mental balance. You can actually make a choice, again, as to what you're going to pay attention to, and that's going to result in what you experience. And mindfulness supports everything that we do to be resilient. So everything that Emily talked about, in some ways, the foundation is the mind. We all start with our minds. And what we wanted to talk about today and present to you is this ability to build these tools to be resilient. So I want to thank Emily, my co-presenter, and hopefully these are tools that you can take away and will make a difference for you.
Yes, thank you, Bob, for all the wonderful tools you presented. I've already started using them in my day-to-day life, and I'm excited to continue to use them. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We know now is a really busy and challenging time for some, so we appreciate you taking the time to care for yourself and to prioritize your mental and emotional and physical well-being. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. The Sharp Best Health email is sharpbesthealth@sharp.com. And if you have a question for Bob, I will forward it on to him.
Great.
All right.
Great. Okay. Stay
Sounds
safe,
good.
everybody. And
Stay
be healthy.
safe and well. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Just wanted to give it a little pause at the end so I know where to cut it.
Yeah.
I think that was exactly 30 minutes.
Was it really? Wow.
Yeah, I see the timer up on the PowerPoint, and when I stopped talking, it was 30 minutes.
Oh my
0
goodness.
seconds.
Oh, that would be wonderful, because I thought I was going on too long, but
no, it was perfect. It was perfect timing.
Oh, good. I don't know about me, but I thought you did a beautiful job, Emily. It was very natural. Everything was clear. So
it was okay. I was a little worried. I felt like that what I was just saying wasn't making sense.
No, it made perfect sense. No, it made perfect sense. Yeah, I wasn't just sure. So did my meditations work out okay, or was it too?
No, they were
confusing?
Perfect.
Were they?
I actually was I was so into them that I almost forgot to change your slides.
Oh, good. That's a good sign.
No, I think that they were perfect. They were just as you do them in class, and I think you can really get into what you're talking about, and you guide people through the meditation, which was really nice.
It's really, it's hard because in a short time you want to give them the experience, if they can have it, of actually calming down, but it actually takes more time. But then the other thing I'm always trying to do is, give them something they can take away, remember to do. But
yeah.
So
no, I think that's great. And maybe we can put together do you have a script by any chance of the if they wanted to do these practices later
I do.
and they forgot maybe how to do it,
Yep.
maybe we could do that and send it to them afterwards.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think I
in a
have.
thank you for attending email.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We could send them resources and things, and then if, particularly if it's a manager or director that gets them, they could choose then to send them out to their staff or not,
Right.
Um, yeah, I'd have to, I've got a for see, hear, feel, and rest, feel rest, I've got scripts. I mean, I could write something simply for 3 deep breaths. I don't even know if we need that. And then I could work on something for gratitude.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe I'll kind of
I'll write
summarize
that down.
our points as my points as well. I'll
Okay.
start drafting. I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna draft a thank you for attending email.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'll write up a very short little thing on gratitude. Because the other thing is, I didn't want to take the time, but what I usually do is encourage people to do a gratitude journal.
Right.
And I could put that into a little thing on gratitude that make it short.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Could you hear any of the background noise?
No. Could you hear any of mine?
No, but I'm
Oh,
on a
good.
busy road, so there was a couple times where big trucks went by, and I thought, oh no.
I know our neighbors, they're doing some work next door, and now we have this. Can you hear this hum now?
No.
Oh, good. And then my partner, he had to take the dog to the vet, so he came through quietly, but I was still distracted. The dog was looking at me, so it's like it's always something. Well, we'll see. We can look, but I'm always aware of anything I ever do. Negativity bias of the brain. I'm gonna pick out everything that's wrong, and
I know.
I've learned to just ignore that,
Yeah.
because if there was some major flaw, we would have been aware of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, well, we
Exactly.
could. Yeah, this is good. This is
Yeah.
good.
So what I can do now is I can try to download it and start listening
Okay.
to it and see what the quality sounds like.
Okay.
And then let you know what I think and maybe send it over to you. So you
Okay.
can listen as well. And if we feel like we need to re-record it, we can do so.
We do that. And I don't know how it works with the webinar, Emily, but I know with the regular Zoom screen, meetings, you'll get an email that says to you that it's now processed.
Okay.
And then then what you do with the meetings, you go into your home site, and you'll see recording,
Okay.
and you click on that, and it will be in there as a whatever it is, an MP4 or whatever file, and you
Okay.
can just watch it. And then there should be some option to share it. I think what you get is an email that says you can view it first as the originator, and then you can also, there's a link to send to people to share it as well.
Oh, great.
So
Have you tried to edit before?
No, no, I haven't. What
No.
I was going to do with mine is I was going to experiment with turning it into a YouTube video and then editing from there, but I haven't done it. So yeah, I haven't done that. So
okay. Well, I'll definitely have to edit it because there's probably 4 minutes at the beginning where we're not actually talking yet. So I'm hoping we can do that.
Okay.
If not, we may have to record it, and only when we're recording, only talk about it. But it seems like you should be able to edit. That seems like pretty silly.
Yeah, you know what I'll do is I've got some recordings from my classes already. I'll go in when we're done, and I'll see if I can figure out how to edit that as well. So
okay.
And then I can share that with you if I figure it out. It takes more than one brain to work with Zoom. That's what I'm finding.
Seriously, this
Yeah,
is not my forte.
yeah.
Technology is not my thing.
Well, and I view this as an investment for the future, and this is an investment for Sharp Best Health because you're learning to do all
Yeah.
this stuff now, and then you'll be a whiz at it. So,
Yeah.
it's an investment in the future.
This is true. This is very true.
We're certainly going to use it a lot, that's for sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, this is great. This is a joy. It's so nice to work with you. It's so easy.
You
And
too. And thank you
you
for
do.
your kind email again. That was really nice of
Oh,
you to send that.
oh, well, our bosses they don't see what we do all the time, and they're more likely to get a complaint, than lots of praise, like Yelp. The only people go on Yelp are the ones that are complaining.
We're
So,
complaining. Yeah,
yeah, and I also
that's true.
appreciate, I don't do that for everybody. I mean, if somebody's not that easy to work with, I don't do it. But and also, you're just really competent. I'm proud to present with you. That's not
Oh,
always the case either. So.
oh, thank you, Bob. It's definitely an honor to present with you as well. I was telling
Great.
my husband, I said, I get to present with Bob McClure. He's like, yeah, no, you're always talking about Bob McClure.
Whoever that old guy is.
No, it's
Yeah.
great. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited to listen to this. I'm hoping that
Me too.
it's
Me
perfect
too.
the first time around.
Me too. And if not, well, we'll get a little more practice and then we'll
Yeah,
do it again. And so, yeah.
that sounds
Okay.
good.
Great.
All right. Well, I'll touch base soon
Okay. That's a deal.
with what I find out. And hopefully when I end this, oh, it says it's still recording.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Recording.
yeah.